Jordan Kyrou ended up having a procedure, and I have an update on how he's doing.
Hi, I'm Robert Thomas, and this is Locked On Blues.
You're Locked On Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome back to Locked On Blues. I'm your host, Haley Taylor Simon, talking to you all things about our St. Louis Blues here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. On today's episode, I'm going to talk to you about a procedure that Jordan Kyrou had, so we're going to dive into that. We're going to also talk about the fact that the Blues have a 3% chance of getting the first overall draft pick, and if we should be upset about that. Finally, I'm liking my Would You Rather game, and I know that this is definitely not happening with the contract that he has and the fact that literally no team probably would want to take him. But would you rather keep Sonny or Bushi? So we have a lot to discuss, so let's just dive into things. Earlier this week, Jordan Kyrou had a procedure on his knee, and he is expected to be fully ready and healthy for training camp. Now, this was a little bit of a surprise, to me at least, but I'm also not shocked either. He is 27 years old, and as a 27-year-old, I can say that if I was a professional athlete, I'm sure I would probably need some sort of procedure at some point too. I think that, again, it could play a factor as to why Kyrou didn't have the best season. And I maybe gain some sympathy for how hard I've been on him. But at the end of the day, I know there's so many athletes in hockey, especially, that play through injury. It's inevitable you're going to get injured playing hockey. It's one of those games. I mean, unless like you're not that good of a player and you don't spend a lot of time on the ice, and that's not a disrespect thing, it's just a reality. Then maybe you will escape injury, but most of the time you get injured playing hockey in some way. And I'm not surprised that there was something that wasn't 100% right. It kind of makes sense when you evaluate how his skating was throughout the season, because the skating wasn't as strong as usual. And obviously you need to have good knees in order to skate. Now, I can speak from my experience as a figure skater that, again, I've dealt with some ankle injuries when skating and a couple of knee, nothing that required surgery, but just a couple things that I had to wear a brace. And I can say it does make a huge impact when your knee isn't 100% there versus when it is. And I think for a lot of us, right, we can maybe be a little bit more critical when we're removed from it. We're not on the ice. We're not the ones skating. And obviously he is. But see, this is where I get a little bit frustrated. This team clearly wasn't a good team. Why would they elect to have him get the knee procedure done now instead of during this season? So that way he would, I know they said he's going to be healthy for training camp, but that way we know for a fact he'll be healthy for training camp. You get what I'm saying? Because what if his recovery takes a little bit longer? I'm just saying you never know. And for me, I would have rather him get it done as soon as possible than to get it done now. Because if he got it done then, I mean, I know he barely scored and he really wasn't a good playmaker this season, so he wouldn't have helped produce many goals. But at least, and again, I know it's the whole tank mentality. I need to get out of that. But I'm just saying the inevitable, what we're all thinking. The thing with Kyrou is I don't know if he's going to be here next season. I don't. He's one of those players where I feel like could get traded and should get traded. And not what I'm about to say might sound like kind of backwards, but just hear me out. I think for him, personally him, and what would benefit his career, it would be on a different team. He produced 18 goals for us this season, which was one of his lowest amounts produced. And in my opinion, that's unacceptable. Injury, no injury, not acceptable. Especially if you're going to be on the second line, not acceptable. I don't know. He's never been traded before. That's the thing. And maybe for him, I know that he has the no trade clause, but would he be willing to waive it? And then there's options. I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to hear rumors about all these players. I mean, there's rumors today more so about Binnington. And I think that the Blues have a lot of guys that have assets, right? Where other teams look at them and they're like, okay, these could be role players. And I think that's awesome that the Blues have that. The problem is when I'm watching different players on different teams, sometimes I think to myself, I could see them as a better fit on team than said, you know what I'm saying? Like I could see them as a better fit. For me, when it comes to Jordan Kyrou, I told you this before, I could see him fitting in so well with Minnesota. I could see him fitting in so well with the Capitals. I could. And, you know, it's not even like one of those things where it's because of the style, it's the players. And I feel like for whatever reason, Kyrou just needs a really speedy offense. And I don't know. I just feel like those would be good fits. But if we do keep him, right? What's your realistic expectations for him next season? I know mine, score 30 goals, like at least. And you need to skate harder. I am sympathetic when it comes to the knee stuff, right? Injuries happen. It's the name of the game. Is what it is. But that's life. You have to deal and adjust. And if you're unable to play through something, and again, I don't know, right? That's not a fact I can say. I'm just assuming. Then might as well not be on the ice. Like, I'm just saying, you know, there's a lot of guys that aspire to be NHL players, a lot. And the one thing that I notice when I'm watching hockey, whether it's juniors, whether it's collegiate, whether it's even AHL, whatever it is, the one thing that I look at is the skating. Now, that's a very obvious thing to look at, right? But what I notice is this: the guys that skate hard, no matter what, the guys that are so determined are the guys that are the best players on the ice. And you need to keep up that mentality, even in the NHL. I think the problem is this. It's easy to feel as if when you're older, especially, we're down by 2 minutes left on the clock. What's the point? It's so easy to get that mentality. That's lazy. Change it. Sorry. Like, again, I just need to see him skate harder. You know, I wouldn't even be mad about the 18 goals if he was just skating harder, to tell you the truth. And okay, actually, I still would be upset about the goals, but I would be less upset if he was skating harder. I just need, and this goes for every guy on the team, I need everyone to be putting in 110% effort when it comes to the skating, especially. You know, I love hockey. Clearly, I do. I've watched a lot of bad hockey in my life. A lot of bad hockey. Like my high school I went to, bad hockey. And the one thing I will say is what I appreciate is the young guys on the Blues this season, the guys like Snuggerud, who skate hard. I appreciate that. Because I'm cool watching I don't like to watch bad hockey, but I'm cool watching bad hockey as long as I am seeing maximum effort. That matters. Effort matters so much in life, okay? Effort matters more than anything in life. And if you're not willing to put in the effort, especially on the ice, especially wearing the blue note, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to defend you. Like, I do this podcast 5 days a week, every single day. Yeah, there's times where I'm like, oh, I'm a little bit tired. I did my episode last night at like midnight because I had a 16-hour work day. But at the end of the day, you have obligations, you have fulfillments, like you have things to do. So for me, I don't have time for excuses. Skate hard, and that's what it comes down to. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about the draft. I know something that's super fun and that everybody agrees on. We're going to talk about that right after this. If you got a sweet tooth like I do, you know how tough it is to find the perfect treat without all the sugar. That's why the Cotton Candy 5-Hour Energy Shot brings that nostalgic flavor back in a whole new way. This is that classic cotton candy taste you remember, but with a tasty caffeine boost and zero sugar. It's a quick, easy way to satisfy that sweet craving while keeping things simple and on the go. I've always loved cotton candy, but I can't be eating sweets all day. And this is the perfect alternative. It's become my go-to when I want something sweet without going overboard. Bring on the sweetness with Cotton Candy 5-Hour Energy Shots, available online now at 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. We have another one, so bear with me. ED is way more common than most guys think. Millions of guys deal with it at some point, and that's exactly why HIMS offers a straightforward way to handle it. HIMS connects you with a licensed healthcare provider online, giving you access to legitimate ED treatment options from the comfort of your home. No awkward appointments, no pharmacy lines, just a straightforward process that makes it easier to take care of yourself. The whole process is simple. You can just complete a quick online intake and a provider will review your information. If treatment is right for you, it ships directly to your door in a discreet packaging, which makes the whole experience feel private and stress-free. To get simple online access, personalized, affordable care for ED, hair loss, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/lockedonnhl. That's hims.com/lockedonnhl. For your free online visit, hims.com/lockedonnhl. Prescription required. See websites for details and important safety information. Sildenafil is the generic version of Viagra. Viagra is a registered trademark of Viatris Specialty LLC. HIMS is not affiliate or endorsed by Viatris. Also, hi, the Everydayer Club. You already know. $5 a month, ad-free audio of Locked On Blues. And the best part is it syncs up automatically to your Spotify, to your Apple Music, to your Amazon podcasts. So literally all you have to do is log on. And then boom, you get the ad-free version. So there's no ads. So you don't have to waste your time listening to the ads. No, you don't have to deal with that. Ad-free version, LOB. You already know, lockedonpodcast.com/everydayer. Oh, guys, the Blues only have a 3% chance of getting the first overall draft pick. Do you need a tissue? Oh, that must really suck. I can't stand this narrative, and I also can't stand my fake voice sounding like that. Okay. I am so happy this team ended the season winning 4 straight games. I'm glad that they began to play as a team first and foremost. I was about the tank, and I'm putting my hair up right now if you're on YouTube and you can see this because I'm getting heated, but I was about the tank. I was pro tank. Oh my gosh, let's tank. Gavin McKenna, first overall. And then I realized that the Vancouver Canucks literally were the CEOs of tanking. And I was like, okay, well, I guess we're not going to be getting the first overall. So let's go shoot for Mr. Stenberg, Otto's brother. Well, you know what happened with Ivar Stenberg? I realized, hey, we're not going to catch up to get him either because the Blues are not going to be a bottom 3 team. So then it hit me. This team has a chance of making it to the playoffs. Well, after numerous crash outs about it, I realized that wasn't going to happen. They get eliminated. You know what happens when they get eliminated? I realized something. This team is such a strong unit now, and it's going to demonstrate in beautiful ways next season. The Blues will be a playoff team next season. Mark my word. I truly do believe that. Robert Thomas will also be captain. I always have to say that because it's going to happen. But The reason why I'm saying this is because at the end of the day, at the end of the bleeping day, it is way more important for this current team right now to be in unison, to be in sync, rather than to be what they were at the beginning of the season, a mess. And the draft, sure. Do I want the Blues to get the first overall still? Yeah. But a 3% chance, baby, we all know that's not happening at all. Like, I'm a very, I don't want to say delusional when it comes to hockey. I'm a little bit delusional. And I was like, it could happen. It's not happening. It's not happening. So there's no need to stress about it. I know that there's so many people upset. Well, if they didn't play that well after the Olympics, they could have had a chance. Okay, but you do realize that when it comes to these prospects, most of them won't be ready until a couple seasons. Like, that's how it works. And that's what gets me so annoyed. This is the NFL, by the way. They're having their draft tonight. As you can tell by my shirt, I'm an Eagles fan. Go Birds. And those guys play the next season. That's not how it works in hockey. That is literally not how it works in hockey. Okay? And again, I have Russ that will be coming on the show who knows everything about all these prospects. I mean, this NHL process is so much different than the NFL, right? It's kind of like, in a sense, baseball, right? Where you draft a guy, he won't be ready for seasons on end. And that's why it does bother me when people get so upset and so heated, because at the end of the day, newsflash, these guys won't be playing until a couple seasons, like unless like maybe McKenna. But I don't understand the anger towards how the Blues ended the season. Yes. Would I have liked to see the Blues win more in October and November and December? Abso-bleeping-lutely. Did it happen? No. Like, not even close. Not at all. It was bad. It was ugly. It was a lot of bad losses. A lot. And I just had a flashback of like the beginning of November. And I was like, yeah, nope, not good. But hey, listen, sometimes it's about how you end something. You can start something and it may not, be perfect. It may not have flow or sync to it, right? But it's about how you finish it, right? It's about all the work that you put in. And you know what? That's what this team did. They put in the work. And the end complete product that you saw playing your final game in Utah, that's a team I'm pretty damn proud of. I am so proud of that team. Because at the end of the day, this Blues team could have been like the Canucks. I mean, actually, that would have been a better situation. But you get what I'm saying? Like, those guys, no professional athlete wants to lose all those games. And it's embarrassing. It crushes the ego, right? It's draining. But the Blues, they persevere. They put in the work. And they were able to walk away from a season, at least with their heads held high, being proud of how they completed it. Now, the season as a whole, I asked for grades on Twitter. I said a D. I would give the overall season a D. But when we break down individual players and we get to all that, obviously the grades will change, right? But sometimes it's about how you finish. And finishing strong, that means something. It means more because it shows that this team was willing to work through hard times together. And that's important. That's an important skill to have and to do. So for that, yeah, I'm proud of the guys. I mean, they're such a tight locker room. Obviously, great communicators on and off the ice. And it's evident how much they care about each other. And I am so excited for this core group of players to be back next season, even stronger, even more motivated, and with their heads held high. Because it's sometimes about the way that you finish. which is why I'm so proud. All right, coming up, I'm going to talk to you about would you rather keep Sunny or Bushi? But I'll talk to you about that right after this. There's nothing like playoff hockey live. The intensity, the crowd, it's just different when you're in the building. Playoffs are some of the best moments in sports, and being there in person is something every fan should experience. Gametime makes it incredibly easy to find tickets, even for those high-demand playoff games, in just a few taps. And with the Gametime guarantee, you know you're getting 100% authentic tickets delivered on time at the best price. I was literally browsing Gametime, right? And I saw tickets for the Flyers and Penguins for this upcoming Saturday night. And it's super easy to use because with the app, you're actually able to see seat view. So you can see exactly what you're going to see. And also, by the way, with the lowest price guarantee and ticket coverage, I feel confident every time I buy. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDON, LOCKEDON, for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, it's another version of Would You Rather. I love how we're playing Would You Rather at my age of 27 years old. But hey, this time it's about hockey players, which actually makes it sound worse. Okay. This is about I can't even, whatever. Let's just get into it. Would you rather keep Sunny or Bushi? And the reason why I proposed this, these are two players with a completely different skill level, obviously different contracts, right? But the reason why I'm asking, it's because today's show, we talked a lot about character and we talked about effort. I know, big words for some people. And for me, that matters. And for you, I want to know, based off of character, who would you rather keep? Sunny or Bushi? Because I would say Sunny. Based off of skill, who would you rather keep? Bushi. But here's the dilemma. Right. Let's get into it. Who puts in the most effort? I'm not saying they have to be the better player, but who puts in the most effort? Sunny. So that's a problem when a guy that plays on the third or fourth line, depending, and usually doesn't play every game, is getting those type of votes over the guy that you have for another 7 years. It just doesn't make any sense. Bushi's contract over $8 million AAV, it's a joke. I'm going to be honest when I say that to you. I'm not saying that to be dramatic. I'm saying that because it's the reality. It is a joke of a contract, and I don't get it. I really don't. Other teams are not going to want him. And I can tell you this. If I were another team and somebody came up to me, and that somebody was Steen, Alexander Steiner, Mr. Steena, who are you offering us? I don't know why I made the GM of a random team British. And Steen says, Bushi. I would say, no. I wouldn't do it. It's a joke. I'm sorry. He needs to have a really good season this season, this upcoming season, in order for me as a GM on another team to consider even a conversation. Okay? Unless the Blues eat a lot of that contract, I don't see it happening. I don't. It's too much money. He doesn't show up enough. I could go on and on about my frustrations with him, but I wanted to make this a really dramatic comparison because these are two players that are so drastically different skill-wise, but yet character-wise, yeah, Sunny is the guy that's going to work harder on the ice. I'm just saying, and he's technically not even a part of the team for this upcoming season. So, like, there you go on that. I know that for some of you might be like, Haley, these comparisons are stupid, but it's my way of expressing how much it matters to put in the effort. And I think that was the whole purpose of today's episode, is the effort. Because here's the thing. All of my notes that I have on the Blues from this season, I mean, I literally watched every single game. So you can imagine how I feel. It's all about the lack of effort from certain players. And that needs to change. That's not how it is. We're not like that. You know, we have guys that play so hard for the Blue Note. Sonny said that he would die for the Blue Note. It means something. It means everything. That logo isn't just a logo. And you can't be lazy representing the Blue Note. You can't. I'm just saying you have to respect the Blue Note. So that's the moral of today's episode. Respect the Blue Note and don't be lazy and put in effort and have good character. And make a supposed GM of a random team British. I don't know. That was kind of crazy. At least it wasn't like Australian. Sometimes I do that. All right. Tomorrow is Friday. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really feeling the Friday vibe either this week. It's just all been flying by. But that's what happens when you're having fun. Maybe. All right. I will talk to you all tomorrow. And like always, let's go Blues.